At the end of the option analysis or option studies, the main point here is after we've studied all the benefit costs of the different options, to compare the option, and we can call this project evaluation, or we can even call it just option analysis. Normally during this stage, the outcome is we need to select an option. So we do not want to tell our client that, option A is good, option B is good, option C is good, and, you choose your own, you see. I mean, as engineers, normally we will make some recommendation. And the term project evaluation, normally we would actually use, for either the go ahead or no go ahead. Actually, the whole thing is project evaluation, meaning that from the time that you go ahead to the option analysis all the way down to the study of the options, comparison of the options with cost benefit analysis, with financial analysis, all that. All this is actually part and parcel of project evaluation. Sometimes, because of the project is very straightforward, it's very, very straightforward. So it's a go or no go. And then basically the option, the scope and everything is very fixed. So that one, we may not need to do too much about option studies. Maybe just some sort of small components, modification from options to option. But generally, not so much about option studies. There are projects like that. But most projects would have option analysis, okay? So the outcome of the option analysis or this particular section would be the option selected, okay? So once the option is selected, what we need to do is to conduct whether this particular option is practical and viable. Okay, so whether this the design solution here is actually practical technically, whether it can be done technically, the location itself is okay to go for that, economically, socially, environmentally. So with that particular option that we have chosen, we will do a proper feasibility studies, okay? Like I say, normally in terms of theory, this is how things are, you see, but I'm sure during practice, different engineers may actually do different things. So for example, some people may do feasibilities way early, even when it's at the project charter scope statement stage. They will go ahead with the feasibility studies already because there isn't too much of an option studies to carry out anyway. Or they can combine the option studies with feasibility studies. No harm. I mean, just let you know that, if we do it in a normal flow of things, we will go from A to B to C to D, so it's sometimes if you want to combine B with C or C with D, I think it's reasonable, there's no harm. So, right, so in the lecture, we need to stick to one format, we need to stick to one direction. So a feasibility studies, in this format, in this context of this particular course, we will be sticking to that it will be done when you have already got your options selected. Okay, because now not only is a go or no go, you've got the option here, but do we really, it's like a triple confirmation. If I were to put it that way, it's a triple confirmation that the project is going ahead. So you need to evaluate many factors here: technical, economic, legal, operation, and so on and so forth. So the key purpose here is mainly to look at the project viability, okay, whether it's realistic, whether it meets the organization goals and objectives. So you need to evaluate that again. So that you will also do some risk studies as well, and you will do some proper economics, financial. You will also do some social studies, market studies, and earlier stages we may not do it in detail. You see, so here we will need to have a lot of this supporting issue to make sure, supporting what they call supporting data and information to make sure that we are really going to go ahead with the project. So feasibility studies, we have data collection, okay? The data, there will be a very, very enormous data collection, because it's easy to do it now because your option is very fixed already. You already fixed that option. So then to do that, you're actually confirming whether it's a feasible project, okay? So you do you do main data collection at this point in time to check on the feasibilities. And then we will move on to, analyzing this data. So that's why you have a lot of these studies that is being done and the assessment that is being done. You need to analyze it. So it's pretty much in this feasibility study stage. And then we also do risk assessments, whether there are any risk, external risk or any people-oriented risk, and then do you have any technology? Do you have technical problems, location problems and all that? So the main thing is we have the feasibility statements to say that we are proceeding with this option. This is a confirmed okay, confirmed doable. The question is doable, possible. You need to answer that. And content of feasibility studies, I think this one you can read through. There's economic impact, okay, sensitivity analysis, risk analysis. These are all the typical scenario planning, social impact, and then also environmental impact, and these are typical category, things that we will put into our feasibility studies for the particular option. Again, repeat, it will be saying to us that this option is feasible. This option is possible. Okay. And then there is also a viability studies. So a feasibility study seek to answer possible. Is it possible? And viability studies in some projects is very important because it answers about technically whether the project is actually technically sound. Okay. So there is a little bit of a difference. Okay. All right. Not a little bit of this. It's a completely different thing, I should say. Okay. Whereby financially, feasible is about, is it possible to go to, to start, to go ahead with it, does it, meet whatever, this project, does it meet our requirement and it is possible to be carried out. And financial part here, we are more concerned about number one, things like cash flows, project cash flows and fundings, project funding. Then I'll explain that in a little while. The other issues that we need to talk about is whether the project is worth it or not. This is about the value of it, the worth it or not, that it is the most optimized. This is dealing with life cycle costing. Okay, so I think I've prepared for you a separate recording on life cycle costing. But life cycle costings, because it's directly related to the maintenance, it's directly related to the aspects of operation and maintenance, it should be considered. Previously we're considering a lot on the capital cost of the project, how much you're going to spend, how much you're going to get in return and all that. But life cycle costing is how much you're going to spend during operation and maintenance. And it's about creating maintenance operation plan that lists down how many years that you within every year, what sort of maintenance after construction. And then some operation and maintenance work has to be done like maybe yearly. Some is biannually. Some is actually 1 year, one time in 2 years or in 5 years, and once in 10 years maybe. You don't paint your house every year, correct or not? So something like painting, certain things like certain repair work, it may only come once every 5 years. So life cycle costing is about getting yourself fully understand. You fully understand, okay, that the project is, you're thinking in the way of operation maintenance into your project. It's just that you don't just buy a machine. You must think about operation and maintenance of the machine. And that will actually be part of the financial analysis that we're talking about here. We not only must have money for acquisition, we not only must have money to purchase, we not only must have money to build and construct, we must think about the operation and maintenance phase. And this is what this phase is talking about. Financial, this is a financial bit of things that I need you to focus, I bring your attention and focus on. Then next recording, I'll be focusing on cash flows, financial analysis, okay, and that will fund